What's up, humies?
The Orcs of the 40K, or the greenskins as they are commonly called, are actually a fungal species that were created and bred for war initially by the old ones during the War in Heaven some 60 to 70 million years ago. They are an ecosystem by themselves, with each fungal spore depending on conditions will give rise to different Orkoid races. They live only to fight and their society is loosely based on who is strongest and which warboss will assemble a Waagh. They are seen by other races as savage, violent and crude creatures, but they are in fact the most successful species in the whole galaxy, outnumbering possibly every other intelligent race except for the tyranids. While there are certain biological and technological aspects of these aliens that are worthy of note, we will put them aside in another video. As of now, we will focus on the 7 types and subspecies of Orcs, or Orkoids, found in the 40K.
Now don't be saying no shits, you gits. There won't be no pain boys, no mech boys, no warboss, nothing. Just them types and species types. You gets it? Right now, humies, let's get to it.
The first one, the Snotlings. Let's start with the smallest of the bunch. This Orkoid is mostly used as cannon fodder or as food or even ammunition on certain cases. Nothing is good about their life. They can't fight or do anything violent in a substantial way. They possess pea-sized brain and behave very much like extremely enthusiastic and uncontrollable puppies. While the other Orkoids wield guns, swords, spikes, cannons and what have not, these ones go into a fight with mushrooms and sticks or any rudimentary thing they can hold on their hands, their small hands. Standing 50 centimeters or 1.5 feet tall, they mostly act as servants, pets and slaves of the bigger greenskins. They occupy the lowest rung in Orc society and are often used in agricultural and animal husbandry roles due to their affinity with fungus and squigs. Supervised by run herds, they cultivate fungus for orcs like food, drinks and medicine. Snotlings can cause havoc and reproduce quickly if left unchecked. Legend has it that they are the result of a lost race of highly intelligent Orkoids called the Brain Boys, with some legends suggesting that they died out, while others imply that they reverted into Snotlings after having not much to do over thousands of years. Snotlings are not a threat in battle due to their lack of intelligence and weapons, but they serve as excellent distractions and live ammunition. They also clog the pipes and entrances of machinery, causing havoc and at certain times overloading a vehicle to the point of self-destruction. The second one, the Gretchen. Although a bit larger and better off than the Snotlings, the Gretchen are still a servant or a slave race of Orcs. These Gretchens are smaller and more cowardly than Orcs, often used as living shields and for dirty jobs like clearing landmines, minefields and as attrition troops to deplete the ammunition of the enemy. They enjoy fighting weaker opponents, of which there are barely any kinds, and can use low technology guns if wealthy enough, but mostly they just steal and perform hit and run tactics on larger opponents. They are forced into battle by run herds, which are basically slave bosses, and they are thrown into the fray by using grabber sticks or grut pods. So yeah, they work as slaves for Orcs, maintaining their war machines, serving as attendants to the higher ranked ones. They are even more numerous than Orcs and have large heads, sharp fangs and malice in their eyes. They have excellent senses of smell, hearing and sight, and a heightened instinct for self-preservation, allowing them to survive, even thrive in Orc society. They hide in scrap piles or tunnels during times of peace and emerge in mobs during war. Despite their small size, they overwhelm opponents with sheer numbers and use scavenged weapons. They are especially dangerous in naval boarding actions, where they can sabotage machines and overrun stations. A few lucky ones which are big enough or strong enough are even given the chance to pilot the Killer Cans, a type of rudimentary combat walker. They also crew artillery guns since them Orc boys like to fight up close. Number 3. The Orcs. The main ones here are bigger than a normal man, although they stand at the same height because of their slouched posture. They are large, muscular and have a humanoid face with large ears and a big mouth with sharp teeth and fangs. Orcs are tough creatures with green skin and a symbiotic relationship with fungi that allows them to withstand extreme physical punishment. They feel little pain, even from serious injuries, and can continue fighting even after being technically dead. Orcs can survive beheading and having their heads sewn into another different body, and then continue fighting as if nothing happened. Their high pain tolerance and lack of fear contribute to their violent sense of humor, finding amusement in the reactions of their weaker foes as they hack them apart. Orcs have the ability to grow and develop throughout their lives. As they survive battles and earn the respect of other Orcs, they go through a kind of adolescent phase again, gaining muscle and becoming more assertive and larger. If they are able to win subsequent single combat challenges, they may become a nob and then take on leadership roles, growing even larger and tougher than the average orc. This growth will continue until they are defeated by a stronger or a more cunning orc. This is why the warboss and warlords are always the biggest of the bunch. Orcs also can specialize in their warfare roles, with the mech boys being the technology specialists, pain boys being the medics, etc. The orcs reproduce by way of spores, which are very hard to get rid of, and as such, an orc-infested world is commonly destroyed by way of exterminators by the Imperium. So the next one, the Prime Orcs. If we go what the Imperium tells us, then as the Adeptus Mechanicus theorizes, these Prime Orcs were the final evolution of the Orkoid race, evolved by the species out of necessity when an Orkoid empire reaches a certain size and power, maybe a certain genetic and evolutionary jump from the basic violent and dumb orc to the highly intelligent and even more massive prime. Being the size of a half block, which is by itself around 3 stories tall, that makes the prime orcs around 10 meters tall or close to 33 feet in height. They are also encased in an advanced form of power armor, which further increases their strength and durability. Along with their intelligence, they are the orc equivalent of a primarch. They were seen in only one instance during the War of the Beasts in the 32nd millennium. A single arm of this battle-armored orc was equipped with 2 battle cannons, as well as autocannons, missile launchers, flamers and other weapons. And in his other arm he wields a vibro mace as long as a space marine is tall. Fortunately, they were all killed in a psychic backlash caused by a ritual known as the reverse Waagh by using an orc psyche in conjunction with the Sisters of Silence by the Imperium. Number 5. The Crocs. Created by the Old Ones 60 to 70 million years ago to fight off the Necrons and the Catan alongside the Psychic Eldari, Crocs are what Orcs used to be, or what they were originally designed to be. Each Croc was at least the same in power with the Primarch, or maybe even at the most as powerful as the pre-Horus Heresy Emperor. A Necron called Trazyn the Infinite has one in his museum and says it's over a dozen meters tall and has power armor unlike any warboss of present day 40k. Crocs were also physically incredibly powerful, and coupled with their advanced power armor and firepower, they would surpass even the Custodes in battle. So if the beasts, a prime orc, pose a critical threat to Terra, I imagine that the Crocs would have easily defeated the Imperium. They were strong enough to rival the Necron Empire at its peak, and however, they only rise to fight and regress to a harmless state when not at war, just like the normal orcs, so it all depends on the level of warfare. So yes, next we come down to the Squigs. Squigs are a common and simple form of Orkoid life that come in many types and serve various functions in the Orc ecosystem. Some Squigs are kept as pets, others are used for food or skin, and the largest can be ridden into battle. They are also the primary food source for the Orcs, feeding on the refuse of larger Orkoids and then serving as a mobile ecosystem that sustains the greenskin race as they conquer the galaxy. The Adeptus Mechanicus theorizes that the Squigs were created by Orc forebearers to contribute to the success of the Orc race. These creatures breed in the Orc settlements known as the Drops and are usually collected by Gretchens and Snotlings. They are basically just a head with a big ass mouth full of teeth, a tail and 2 legs. Some Squigs known as attack Squigs are large enough to be thrown into battle as deadly predators. And number 7, the Squiggot. Squiggots are large aggressive Orkoid creatures used by Orcs as food, pack animals and also weapons. They are reptilian in appearance and can range in size from that of a tank to a small titan. Squiggots are rare and can only be grown to their largest size by specialist breeders. They resemble Terran dinosaurs but can also be adapted to cold climates with heavy fur and tusks. Squiggots used for combat have armored barding and a howdah on their back carrying orc boys and artillery. The largest Squiggots, known as the Orchiosaurus, are bred in a certain manner and gain their size and strength from potent nutritious feeds, which includes a type of Ortboys orc known as the Pigdogs. These gargantuan Squiggots and the Orchiosaurus commonly reach heights of around 60 feet or 18 meters tall. They are also a preferred choice for Orcs as they serve as a combination of battle tank, personal carrier, and also as a mobile siege engine, with thick skin as armor and tusks that can break walls. So there we have it, those are the 7 types and subspecies of Orcs, or Orkoids. So I hope you have enjoyed watching this video. Do hit that like button for support and subscribe, but most of all smash the bell icon for regular updates and new videos right here on this channel. Till the next one, Take care, boys.